What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Rex Righteous, and I'm back with another rap rant. Alright, so sorry for the fumble. So the new news is Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev are having another public crap right now, like some public fight argument. And supposedly Sergey Kovalev was supposed to go to Vegas and meet up with Andre Ward so they could do interviews, hype the fight as Canelo Chavez is going on, as Golovkin Canelo is happening, to kind of make a package deal for HBO so HBO could look strong. And apparently Sergey didn't make it on time. So there's two parts of the story. One part of the story is that Ward made it on time. He was there for Canelo versus Chavez, and he had his interview with freaking Jim Lampley. You know what I'm saying? The other part is that Ward left before Sergey could show up. Now, they originally wanted to do everything on that Saturday, on May 6th. They tried to make it, but they couldn't make it, is their quote. These are the things that was said. And now Main Events is on Twitter. They're talking about it, and they're saying that there was one more day left in this agreement. So I already see where this is going, and either one could look wrong. And to be honest with you, I feel that neither one is wrong. Like, no one is incorrect, because it's not because I live in Vegas that I could understand, but the thing is that the HBO cameras, most of those guys, they're not going to take a flight on the night of the fight. So if the fight ends at 10, 11, 12, they're not going to take a flight on that same night to leave and just be like, all right, let's go. I'm tired. I don't want to be here in Vegas. This place stinks. You know, it's not like that, you know. And they Main Events, I guess, must have either went around Rock Nation and called up the HBO cameraman and spoke to HBO and said, hey, have your guys ready in the morning to, you know, have the whole thing set up. Max Kellerman, let Max Kellerman know that we're going to do the Face Off. You know, the Face Off, when the guys talk and it's just no one else, just Max Kellerman, Andre Ward, and Sergey Kovalev. That was going to be the show. And I guess Sergey Kovalev had tried to have it arranged for the morning, and the cameramen were ready like at 4 in the morning, you know. So that's the story that they're telling, you know. And basically Andre Ward left. I'm like, nah, I ain't sticking around for this. I told them Saturday, if they don't want to stick, if they don't want to be here on Saturday and I leave on Sunday, then that's their problem. I get that perfectly. I understand it. It's not stupid. It's not anything that I couldn't understand. I get it perfectly. You know what I'm saying? And I get Sergey Kovalev's side. He's like, hey, you know, I was focused on my training, and I wasn't really paying attention to the time, and I couldn't make it. You know, whatever. He lives in California, I think. So does Andre Ward. So, you know, some of it might be hard to believe, but that's not up to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going off of the quotes. You know. So, you know, who knows what Andre Ward had to do. You know, who knows what he had to do. Maybe he had to go to church because he's Christian on Sunday. Or maybe he had something to do that was more important than any of the stuff that's going on. But at the end of the day, you know, you guys are not agreeing. So basically, as fans, and you know, there's some other channels talking about it too, we're all just like, you know what, we're getting screwed out because now we don't get to see the Face Off. Now we don't get to see anything from it. And at the same time, if you want casuals to be involved and to order this fight and to be intrigued into this fight, then you guys both have to agree. You both have to come to an agreement and figure out a way where you guys can promote this fight and not make it so much about ego. And this is the part where I feel like it is Andre Ward's fault. Not necessarily because of what happened, because I feel like it's both of their faults. They can't come to an agreement. So, to me, that's both their fault. But the part that I don't like is that Andre Ward has a history of doing it. So obviously, when this comes out, it's going to look like it's Andre Ward's fault. Whatever the story is, whatever it might be, it's going to look like it was Andre Ward's fault. So, what was said on Twitter was that Rock Nation put this pressure on, like they were going to sue. And we're going to sue you. We're going to sue you if you don't show up on Saturday, and you better be there, and it's going to be a problem if you're not there. Because supposedly they were insulted. You know, these are things that I've heard from other channels. I'm not saying that it's official, that was what was said. But I do feel like that makes sense. That they were not happy. And also on Twitter, Main Event said that they would attempting to sue them. They threatened to sue them. So that part is true. Okay? And I'm gonna try to see if I can use my phone here to paint that picture a little bit. Okay? See right there. It says it right there. I don't know if you guys can even read this. I don't know if it's backwards or whatever, but it says the HBO crew started and setting up at 4 a.m. today. Sergey broke training camp to come to Vegas from Big Bear, but Ward is a no-show. Okay? I gotta go on Twitter for this, but here's another one. It says Sunday was the last possible day for the shoot, which Rock Nation knew. Right there. Which Rock Nation knew. He left Las Vegas hours before it was scheduled to start. There's no excuse. He left, meaning Andre Ward left. Okay? And, you know, yeah, just take my word for it, man. Take my word for it that that is what was said by Main Events. I'm not saying that they threatened to sue them. I'm saying that Main Events said that they were threatened by Rock Nation that they would be sued if they didn't show up on Saturday. So let me see. Okay, well then she said she's replying to something. Okay, and somebody on Twitter said, okay, they're going back and forth here. This is all on Main Events, at Main Events. Okay, she said, well then, Ward's promoter probably should not have threatened to sue us if Sergey didn't participate. They insisted on doing it. He was training on Saturday. We told Rock Nation that Sergey would come to Las Vegas for one day. Tried to get there night before, but didn't make it. Rock Nation made demand outside of our arrangement that we nevertheless tried to accommodate. Didn't work out, but Sergey was there when we said he would be. Okay, so, you know, my thing is this looks more like it could be either person's fault, but I do feel like my man Andre Ward, he always does this kind of thing, and it's kind of crazy, you know. I'm not an Andre Ward fan. I'm just saying my man because it's just funny. Like it always happens this way. And what's your guys' take, man? I really don't know what to think of this because, there's people saying on Twitter, doesn't this hype the fight a little bit more? I don't know if it hypes the fight as much as a face-off, but that's what Kathy Duba said. That's the argument right there is, does a HBO special face-off promote the fight more than a freaking argument on Twitter? Like, no one cares. No one's paying attention to that, man. No one's paying attention to that. The only people that's paying attention to it are hardcore fans like me, you, and whoever else is on Twitter and loves boxing. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's paying attention to that. When you see a face-off and you just randomly see it on your timeline from Facebook or Twitter or whatever, that hypes it. Because there's a lot of people don't even like brutal sports. They don't like sports that have to do with punching people in the face and getting kicked and all this stuff. So they have to see a build-up for it. Plus, I don't think that there was I don't think that there was a face-off for the first one, as another channel said. There was another channel that said the same thing. There was no face-off. I believe that there was a 24/7 or there was some kind of video or documentary for the fight. But still, man, like, we need as much build-up as possible. And, it always seems it's on Ward's behalf. Like, no, I'm not showing up when you want me to. No, I'm not going to do this. No, I'm not going to do that. And to be honest with you, I don't see that with any other fighter. So it makes me question Andre Ward as a fan. It makes me feel like, yo, what kind of professional are you? What kind of boxer are you? I've seen different type of boxers do things occasionally, and they just be like, no, like Canelo saying that he doesn't want to fight for the Cinco de Mayo title. That's simple. I get it. He doesn't want nothing to do with the title. He wants nothing to do with that title because he says that it has money tied to it, and he wants nothing to do with that. He wants to fight for actual titles, not a made up title for that day. Okay? Cotto, same thing. He wants money and whatever. Floyd doing his little tactics. Those are all mind games. You know what I'm saying? But this right here is not a mind game, in my opinion. You're shooting yourself in the foot, is what I believe. You're shooting your promotion and the fight itself in the foot. Unless you think Sergey is not anything to make a big deal about. Because I feel like you beating Sergey makes your resume legit. He hasn't been pound for pound in a while. You know what I'm saying? And he hasn't fought in a while. He built up he brought his career back up and made it relevant within the last 2 years before he fought Sergey. Or maybe a year, I should say. It was probably sooner than that. Well, those guys weren't popular, and those guys weren't as popular as Sergey. So, that's not to mention that Rock Nation has been taking L's on putting on fights for Ward and paying Ward. So, what's your take? I haven't studied Ward like how I studied some of the other guys. But I do know a little bit of history about him because I've been looking him up and trying to understand, why is it that people like him. I studied some of the fights he had with Froch and, how he's behaved in the media and things like that. And it's usually the same thing. So do you think Andre Ward is shooting himself in the foot with this kind of news coming out? Or is this like this typical old same Andre Ward and he's always going to just do things like this? Because at the end of the day, maybe he doesn't want casual fans. Maybe he just wants boxing fans. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he just wants any type of fan to just watch the fight. And who cares if we don't gather up any fans to watch the fight? So, are you on Sergey Kovalev's side? I mean, I know right now some people think that it's kind of weird to take Kovalev's side because, you know, he's said some racist. He has some like undertones in some of his tweets and things like that. You know, I don't know what to say about all of it. I feel like some of it is taken out of proportion, taken out of context. But then again, it's like, you know who you're dealing with. I would choose the classy route, the Golovkin route, where you don't say a word, or the Manny Pacquiao route, where you just don't say nothing. You just don't say anything. Just don't give it attention. So that there I get where some people are going with it, but then there's sometimes that I feel like Sergey's just having fun. So is Andre Ward in Sergey's mind, or is it vice versa? It's like a conundrum to me. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. That's it. That's all I gotta say. It's another rap rant. Peace out.